Coming up on MHS1,
we learn about new truancy regulations.
we discuss the influence of technology on student learning.
And we meet a McKinney High School alumni who makes the news every week.
And that's all coming up on MHS1.
Good morning, McKinney High School. Today is Friday, October 30th. I'm Mary Catherine Chaparro.
And I'm Jonah Ott, and you're watching MHS1.
For the first time ever, the Royal Pride Band is going to state this year. With more on the story, here's Brandon Fangio, Alexander Maltz, and Sam Turner.
After placing a disappointing 10th in preliminaries, the Royal Pride Band came back with a vengeance and earned themselves second place in the finals.
A lot of hard work got our band to state. We practice every day a lot. Our band usually just kind of does really hard stuff, and we do it really well. I think our band and our school deserves to be the first to make it to state.
Well, we've been really determined the entire year. You know, coming off of a strong season last year, we were really pushing ourselves to do better this year, and I think we really achieved that. It was a great feeling. Being on the field per retreat, we were all really nervous. We didn't know what to expect, but it was a really great feeling when they announced our name.
We're finally recognized for what we've been doing. I mean, there's so many bands out there that you go to a contest and you're like, oh hey, there's that band. Oh my gosh, they're so good. I feel like we've finally made it to that level, and it's what we've been striving for. It's what every band kid feels like whenever we show up. It's like, oh hey, are they talking about us? Do they know us? And so I think that's one of the things that has made it really awesome about making state.
As a senior, it's like so incredible that I finally get to be a part of this. We did it our freshman year and we didn't make it, which is really sad, but I'm so excited that we get to do it our senior year. And it's really cool that we get to have our brothers in orange come with us. I think at this point, the score doesn't matter. We made state, we made history. It's going to be great no matter what.
If you want to see the show that got the Royal Pride Band second place in finals, you can catch them at Ron Poe Stadium at 6:15 p.m. this Sunday. This has been Brandon Fangio, Alexander Maltz, and Sam Turner reporting for MHS1.
Parking has always been a challenge in downtown McKinney, but that could soon change with the upcoming bond election. Here's Aiden Mulligan and Johnny Hobart with more.
Proposition 5 is the authorization to build a public parking garage in historic downtown McKinney. While some McKinney residents do not want a parking garage being the entrance to their square, others support it because of the amount of public parking it will create.
Well, the historic residents are opposed because we have the second largest historic district in Texas, only unto Galveston. And coming right out of the historic district, the first thing that you'll see of our beautiful historic square is going to be this parking garage.
First point we need to agree on is we need a parking garage. Or some people say we have plenty of parking in downtown. There's not a need for parking. Apparently they've never been here on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, or any time during Friday or Saturday.
Don Day is a local businessman and city councilman who owns several businesses in the downtown area, including Rick's Chop House and the Grand Hotel.
Homeowner groups always fear change in their neighborhood because they fear it will have a negative impact on their property values. And while I understand their fears, I've never actually seen it happen. This will not diminish the historic character of downtown one bit. It's the fear of homeowners and their property values that are driving their concerns.
Businesses and homeowners are concerned about the future of downtown.
If it passes Proposition 5, it will be at the location of Church Street between Louisiana and Virginia. So the only way to stop that location is to vote no to Proposition 5.
If the voters say no one time, I don't think council will ever come back and revisit a downtown parking garage. The voters said no, let's move on to the next fire station. So that's my concern, is this is our one shot at getting a publicly funded parking garage that will have a significant impact on downtown, significant positive impact on downtown.
Merchants on side streets of downtown see Proposition 5 as a way to bring foot traffic to their business.
But if you radiate from the square, we have 8 streets we call the side streets, which is Louisiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia on both sides of the square. Those businesses struggle, they come, they go. there's not enough foot traffic because not enough people can find parking here.
Parking is a stay or go for us. Without parking, we're going to relocate this business. This class that's going on, we brought 7,000 people. 85% of those people are outside of McKinney. We've brought them to McKinney. We're going to take those people somewhere else. This is a stay or go proposition for us. Parking is imperative. We have to have it.
Early voting is going on now, and Election Day is on November 3rd.
I'm proud of McKinney. I'm proud of downtown. This is just one more step forward.
This has been Johnny Hobart and Aiden Mulligan reporting for MHS1.
After the recent change in truancy laws, there has been confusion about what the new regulation entails. Here's Diego Sales and Cameron Halford with more.
This past year, the state of Texas passed a new law that decriminalized truancy.
Truancy is a law that comes out of the fact that in the state of Texas, it is mandatory for a student under the age of 18 to attend a school and get education somehow. There have been some changes, and I think that's caused maybe some confusion with students. I've had some students that I speak to say, you know, I've heard there isn't truancy anymore. Well, that's not the case. What the state of Texas did is they did a number of changes. They decriminalized truancy. And so it used to be that if you were not in school, if you missed more than 9 days within a 6-month period, you would go to court under a criminal charge for truancy.
I've heard about the new law. My honest opinion is that it doesn't matter what the law says, that ultimately comes down to kids want to come to school if they feel a reason to come. So we can have the most draconian law in America, but if kids don't want to be here, they're not going to be here. So that's where I think it comes down to the adults in the building, to giving you guys a reason to show up every day. Honestly, I don't think it's going to have an impact on the number of kids showing up for school. I mean, there may be a small spike in the number of truancies, but I don't think kids are going to go, hey, we're free, we don't have to show up. I don't think that will happen.
Well, now it's no longer a criminal charge. Now it's actually a civil charge, which means that you still go to court. You still have to do community service. You still pay a fine, but you no longer have to have that on your criminal record.
This has been Cameron Holford and Diego Solis reporting for MHS1.
Hey Jonah, have you ever considered starting your own business?
No, I'm not much of an entrepreneur.
Well, 2 students here at McKinney High School have taken it upon themselves to start selling firewood. Here's Marissa Troiani and Devin Field with more.
Charles Weber and Zach Swatowski have started their own firewood business to make money on their own. Time and sales are the key to progressing their business.
This business started up my freshman year whenever my dad suggested to me that I should start selling firewood for work, and just all kind of went from there. The idea of starting this business came up whenever I started learning about capitalism in 8th grade. I knew that I was able to make as much money as possible living in the United States of America, and so did Zachary. We find people sell wood too via family and friends, and they just kind of pass our number around to different people that they know want firewood. Yeah, I think Zach and I definitely plan on expanding the firewood business. I'm not sure how quickly or how big we'll be able to expand it, but we definitely want to get bigger.
Zach Swatowski, Charles's co-worker, is also a big contributor to the business.
What we find people by, first off, it started off as family and friends. And then it moved off to them giving people numbers and numbers going around places, and now people come to us for their firewood needs. We started doing this by driving out to Decatur 2 to 3 times a week, and almost every weekend cutting, splitting, and trying to make sales. Now, if you're talking about a good week, me and my buddy Charles, we can pull in about $300 a week. A good weekend, maybe $150. We're averaging about $500 a week. We do plan on expanding our business. We're going to get better equipment, hire people, and go global.
This has been Devin Fields and Marissa Troiani reporting for MHS1.
Online textbooks have started to take the place of hard copies. There have been mixed reactions from students and faculty. Here is Amy Huynh and Ryan Rodriguez with the story.
Whether it's English, math, science, or history, chances are you've used one of these. But nowadays, students and staff are given the opportunity to use online textbooks.
I like physical textbooks just because I'm not good at technology, and I'd rather just flip the pages.
I like textbooks better because online textbooks, it's hard to answer the questions, especially like in physics. It's better just to write it down the traditional way.
If you have an online textbook, it's easier. You can access, a page more quickly. You don't have to carry around like 5 pounds of textbooks. You can have multiple textbooks, on one computer. It's easier that way.
30 out of 50 students that were surveyed preferred physical over online textbooks.
The pro is that you do have something tangible that you can work from, a quick, easy reference for any class that you have. A con is obviously it takes up space, it's heavy to take from class to class. With an online textbook, through doing, through going through different courses that I was taking that would use online textbooks, but once I kind of got a little bit of exposure to them and got some practice in using them, I found them to be a lot easier than using a hard textbook.
This has been Amy Huynh and Ryan Rodriguez reporting for MHS1.
Now here's Allison Duran with sports.
Thanks, Jonah. Your Lionettes volleyball team began their 2015 playoffs in a bi-district showdown Tuesday night against Frisco Wakeland. The game is set to start at 7 p.m. at Hebron High School in Louisville. That's all for sports. Now back to you.
A past MHS1 anchor is now doing the same job for a major news network. Here's Allison Duran, Riley Mulligan, and Maddie Cox with the story.
The face of a former McKinney High student is seen weekly by thousands.
My name's Katie Blakey, born and raised in McKinney, lived in McKinney for most of my life, graduated from McKinney High School, very proud of being a McKinney Lion, and now I get to anchor here in North Texas and be able to cover stories in my hometown community. Well, there's 2 different days for me. I have my reporting days and I have my anchor days. Reporting days are anything and everything. You come into a morning meeting, you pitch a couple story ideas, they either love them, they hate them, you go out and you try to do the best you can in a limited amount of time possible. Honestly, there are a couple of different moments in there where I solidified what I wanted to do. Definitely being a part of McKinney High School's journalism department was a big catalyst in putting me on this career path. I will say 9/11 happened when I was a senior in high school, and I think seeing how those events unfolded, how journalists covered that event, it really sparked a deep interest in me that I wanted to continue to pursue that when I got to college, and that's something I did. And I think it's that foundation I had at McKinney High School with Miss Oglesby that really helped put me on that career path. But it was one of those things, it was one of many interests I had, and once I got to college I was kind of able to single out some of those interests and really focus on journalism. What was so cool about McKinney High School and what a lot of other high schools did not have at the time is we had MHS1. We had a broadcasting department, we had yearbook, we had newspaper, and there was a big emphasis on doing all 3 of those things. My dream job when I was a kid, honestly, one dream job was to be anchoring the news for my hometown in North Texas. And that's just kind of always been one of those things that I thought I would love to do. Now I get to do it, and it's still pretty cool and as cool as I imagined it would be when I was younger. How do I feel when I'm on air? I think in the very beginning, it's a very nerve-wracking feeling when you're getting this business. You're so worried about messing up, making a mistake, but then it just becomes routine. It becomes a job, just like anyone else's job. Sometimes you feel a little bit differently when there's big breaking news going on, but for the most part, you just sort of get into a routine and you know what to do and how to do it.
This has been Allison Duran, Riley Mulligan, and Maddie Cox reporting for MHS1.
This is the Halloween guide to trading candy. Before we get started, set aside your mom and dad candy tax, which includes but not prohibited to Butterfinger, Almond Joy, and Mounds. Note this satisfies parents and corresponds to the trick-or-treat curfew clause set in 2010. Step 1. Determine your ideal trading adversaries. This includes siblings, friends, cousins, people with chocolate allergies, and gullible but loaded children. Step 2. Categorize your candy, separate into 2 groups, chocolates and sweet and sours. Step 3. Learn, memorize, and live your trading strategies. Here's a few basics even a freshman can understand. Number 1. Put all your short-flavored gums and hidden under groups such as Reese's, Kit Kats, and Hershey's, and offer the trade as a whole. Number 2. King-size candies can only be traded for other king-size candies unless 6 or more fun size is offered. Number 3. Remember, do not let the people who try to put all the candy in a pile and ration it out convince you. They are not to be trusted, for they are communist. Note, stay away from North School Zone. They give away raisins and toothbrushes. Now get out there and have a happy Halloween.
Hey Mary Catherine, keep this on the DL, but MHS is fire.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Let's ask the teacher.
Here's Johnny Miller and Chelsea Villarreal with the story.
I'm going to explain teenage slang. We'll see if I get the words right. Fire. Oh, I think that probably sounds good. So like bright and exciting and like jumping. Or I think it's a good thing. Fire, fire, yeah.
They must be running away.
On fleek means that something is on point and specifically refers to your eyebrows. So if your eyebrows are shaped really well and colored really well, then they're on fleek.
Biflecia means you're ugly.
It means see ya, don't care about ya, I'm leaving, goodbye.
Is that wrong? Did I mess that up?
That's all we have for you today, McKinney High School. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Mainstream News.
Have a happy Halloween, and remember, if it's news,
And it's at McKinney High School, it's MHS1.
3 minutes. You got this. All right?
King of the hug.
You got this.
Coming up on MHS1.